Recording time.
Yes, yes, it is, it is.
This time around, it was very, very nice recording the drums. I had everything in my head. I knew exactly how I wanted to set up the mics.
Who bought these piece of shit mics, Dan? Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, I think it was you.
Of course, we have quite a small studio, but still being able to record 16 tracks is more than enough to record good drums.
Compared to the last time, I felt really prepared. I was highly motivated to record the drum parts in one complete session. We finished the recording in about 1 week.
Get this lazy ass bastard playing on his phone instead of working on his drums.
As I said, this time around I was prepared.
Manu did such an amazing job at recording. He was very, very tight. There was not much editing to be done to the drum tracks.
We used the Sonar Select Force in dark wood finish. What's especially cool about this drum set is the size of the bass drum. That's a huge punch, huge kick and a lot of decay following.
We would record different takes for each part of the song, and then afterwards I would just, put everything together to a final track.
Let's say we had like 15 songs overall, which were either sorted out or rewritten or maybe even combined to one. So we started out with like 15 or 16 songs, and at the end we had 10 songs plus intro.
The writing process was pretty natural, I guess. We went into the rehearsal place and jammed some riffs along.
It felt like every member of the band could really participate in writing the new songs. They brought their own ideas in and we tried to fuse them together.
When we had an idea, we recorded it right away and decided afterwards if it fits in or not. Basically, yeah, it was plain Lego.
We're using 14 different mics. We're using 2 overheads, individual mics on hi-hat and ride, and 2 room mics just to get a big live sound. We've got 2 kick drum mics, 1 kick-in mic and an outer mic. We're using 2 different mics on the snare, a top mic and a bottom mic, which is a pretty standard approach. Our SM57 just died half an hour ago, but we had my vocals mic, which is a Sennheiser, and it just works just as good. So everything is fine there.
I just wanted to push the natural drum sound without using too much of the samples. Of course, I would blend in samples for snare and kick and also the toms, but the main sound you hear is the sound that was captured by the mics. I'm very, very satisfied with how the drum sound is on this record.
Metalcore, melodic metalcore, somehow with progressive influences.
We built in a lot of experimental things, cool fills and fun drum parts to play and to listen to, I think.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, what's also cool about it are the two floor toms that really put a lot of tribe feeling in the fills, if I could say so, a lot of bass.
My ESP LTD F404, which is my preferred bass for almost everything. We put my signal through my XFX, and out of the XFX we got like two lines, one line my XFX sound and one line unprocessed. So basically a raw sound into our DAW.
Spielmal.
Got out some pretty awesome fat sounding bass.
Now with the bass recordings, we've been dialing in a bass tone, which is based on his live sound, which is pretty good. Now we're gonna record 2 tracks, the XFX, of course, and also a direct-in sound, so that I can change the bass sound if I need to. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna start recording bass.
Let's start this shit. Fire it up. Or get to the chopper.
Klingt für alle gut.
Yeah, Transcendent. It's just a massive sounding instrumental. In itself, it's just brutal.
writing the bass is always kind of like the same. Me and Jonas would sit down and we would look at what I'm gonna play at the rhythm section. Back in the day, actually, he used to just, you know, play everything that I would play just an octave lower. And then sometimes I would be like, write your own stuff, man. But nowadays it's a good, it's like he's right in the middle. He would, you know, look at my part on the rhythm guitar, but also look at what Manu is playing on the drums, and then do you know, to satisfy both things. So that's the way that we do it nowadays. And Jonas did a fantastic job on playing the bass on this record.
Tom enters the room, fucks up all the room constellation with all the mics. Right away. Look at this shit.
But Jonas really felt prepared too. Bass recordings were done in like 3 days or something.
I don't know, most of the songs were like done in 2 days, and 2 or 3 songs were done with fine tuning another day.
It was really inspiring to watch him go through that and hack and slash through that.
Today went pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. All right. Good job, dude.
No one embraces the producer, but it's fine.
Ich mach die fertig, ey. Rogue Squadron. Ja, ich mach die fertig.
What the fuck are you doing?
Star Wars.
Ah.
I've been building guitars for 10 years, and so my main guitars are the guitars that I built myself. Of course, I still have my Jackson guitar and my ESP guitars and everything, but somehow that one guitar that I use is the Arcus Sherazade with the ash body, and I don't know, it was just the guitar that sounded the best. The main rhythm guitar is the guitar that I built with the Seymour Duncan Custom 5. Pick up in the bridge position, just sounds heavy as fuck.
For this album we were better equipped. For instance, we had better recording utilities, and also we had more experience in playing guitar and recording, and therefore we had more time for the creative part rather than facing difficulties by messing up.
On the first records, we just did it in the classic way. We had the PV 6505s and had them mic'd up with the Shure SM57s. But on the last record, on Built Upon the Ruins, we started to use the XFX. And this time around, I wasn't sure what I was going to use for the guitar sounds. So just to have all the possibilities, we recorded DI tracks. And to have a playback while recording, we had the guitars routed into the interface, and the signal was processed by Positive Grid's bias effects with our own preset. And that actually ended up being also the main sound for the guitars. I could have reamped the guitars, but I was happy with the sound as it was.
Most rhythm guitar parts were recorded by Aria, but there were some riffs where I joined and recorded them because I took a special part in writing these riffs.
I recorded, like 2/3 of the rhythm tracks, and but a huge part of the rhythm tracks were also recorded by Tom.
This time it was by far more comfortable, especially for Ari. He played his stuff pretty fast.
We just took our time and we didn't rush anything. So yeah, it was 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks for the guitars, and it just went very, very easy.
Tom, on his end, he needed to really play a lot of parts, solo-wise, melody-wise.
I imagine a song, it's like telling a story to the listener, and some parts add to the story and some parts don't. And in this case, adding a solo to a song, in my opinion, has to give value to the song. And in most of the songs where I wrote a solo to it, I think it gave more value to the song rather than not. I'm keen on having a good melody in a solo, and therefore it has to sound catchy.
At the point of the recordings, the guitar solos weren't done, not all of them at least. So it was really interesting to see the songs in their complete shape.
When there's the finished product, it feels more natural to write a solo on it.
Yeah, of course we have this kind of strict differentiation between rhythm guitars and lead guitars, but when it comes to solos, none of that is there anymore. It could happen that you have, like now you have a solo played by Tom which blends into a solo of Ari. It's far more dynamic than it was before.
vocals, that's what I recorded last. This is just what I do on every record. So when the whole song is there, I would change it drastically and change the whole vibe of the song. So I did it mostly by myself. That's just how I feel most comfortable. Step into this world where a light shines bright.
By recording by himself, Ari had better opportunity to express himself more.
So that's the way I recorded the vocals with a classic Rode microphone, condenser mic, and a little portable vocal booth. That's the way I record it. So pretty simple setup. You made to live a life so pure. What the sacrifice is just to endure.
How the songs sound a certain way. It really feels weird at first when such a influential part of the song gets added last. So, but it was really interesting to see, and when we listened to it, I think we all knew that it was the right decision, and Abby did a great job on that.
The question is always in which direction we should go. Should it be more, doing the shouts and all the heavy like screams and stuff like that? Or can you still do melodies and clean vocals? Violence generates violence, turns the cycle.
He kept the same style of singing, so a step forward by singing more clean vocals in the choruses.
It was just easy going.
We were finished recording all the parts for the new album. And Ari took the new album, did decide a lot on his own, because he's the most experienced audio engineer in the band. But once in a while he presented the new mix and mastering and asked us for our opinions, and we just gave our little inputs.
I completely trust Ari with this one. All we have to do is just give him some minor input, more bass, more direct guitars or something.
It doesn't really matter what kind of plugins you use. It's just whatever you come up with, and when you're happy with the sound, that's the only thing that matters. Probably during the recordings we had the fundamental sound of the album, so there was not much to be added in post. And whatever I did, I think the guys were pretty happy with that. We changed, some frequencies, and some parts were a little too loud or even too low on the volume. So it was just, a matter of balancing out levels. But other than that, everybody was satisfied with the general sound of the album, and I think the sound is pretty massive.
The sound of this album is massive. I can tell you, it's massive. Yeah.
I'm really happy how the new album turned out, mixing, mastering wise, song wise, idea wise, and how the whole recording process was done. Deciding on the final album title was a bit difficult. We had a lot of ideas for it.
Yeah, I had the feeling that when you look at our old albums, we had titles like Between Rage and Madness, The Rebirth of Osiris, Built Upon the Ruins of an Empire. So for this album, I wanted to come up with like a one-word catchy title, even if the title had nothing to do with the songs or wasn't even a song on the album, but more like a description for the album.
In my opinion, we also thought that there's more deeper story behind Horizons than just one song. So we used Horizons as the album title because it reflected more also the direction of the band.
When we thought about designing the new cover, I met up with Jonas one weekend and we just hung out together, brainstorming, thinking of some ideas for it. We knew from the other band members that they wanted to keep it professional, pretty much clean design, not much of objects in the background or stuff.
Simple, and yeah, it just fit. It just fit. The album title was good.
The music is pretty tight and clean, and so is the album cover artwork.
I think Horizons is the first album which everybody would stand up for.
I really like how everyone in the band had his part in recording and creating this piece.
Yeah, so basically the vibe was pretty good.
I'm just very happy with the whole process of recording this album. It was lots of fun for me. Recording it was, I think, seriously was the most comfortable session compared to the sessions that we did before on the other records. Was just easy. Everybody knew what he was going to play, and it just went down very smoothly.